So we are live? Yes, maybe, who knows? We are live.
Hi.
Welcome everybody. I'm so excited to be here with Ruby to welcome you to the future and welcome you officially to be part of this group, which is more than that. And you were aware of it when you joined this group, let's face it. Wow. Finally, this live was like in my universe, like, do this live, do this live. Just like, okay, when? And it's now. So how did we get there?
Right. So amazing to be here with you, Bianca.
And
Really
I'm
cool.
so grateful to have you here together.
Absolutely.
What could we create tonight? And of course, it's a Q&A, so people can ask questions about the group and about the SOP taster. So questions.
Yeah, well, when we talk about conversations for future, though, I think it would be very nice because we have quite some people joining the group. Could you tell us a little bit more about conversations for futures?
Wow, yes. And anytime I think about it, like I perceive it, it's an energy that it's so present and it's so willing to be spoken about. So conversations for futures got created in my awareness, talking more and more about future and getting involved in conversations about futures and being myself more interested in creating the future than just being aware of what is the present like, what is my next day like, what is my current situation. And I noticed that, wow, just by opening yourself and being more interested in the future, a lot of your current situation can change, like from this to this immediately, just by being interested and having the conversations about future. So, and which is magical about it is what is magical is that you cannot think about it, you cannot think the future, you just can perceive the future. And this is where the being gets to play. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. Yeah, and when you talk about, looking at the future and the magical things about that, could you say a little bit more about that? Because it's very interesting, and I know there are a lot of people that, are asking questions or maybe, doing energy pulls, but are not always getting the magic. So is there something more that you can share?
Well, it's what is magical about future is that it cannot be defined, and we talk about future, but actually we should be talking about futures. Okay, with every choice you make, you open a different future, and it's not defined, it's not solid. Then you can, therefore, you can change it, create it, and invite it to your present actually. And about the future, you can invite energies, people, animals, all the earth to create with you and go beyond just personal. And in that, you have so much more energy to play with, and you don't function anymore from the same reference point, the same way of people are functioning from. So this will create a huge difference and so much more ease and relaxation in your world. And this is a conversation that we are having in Access a lot these days, being the relaxation that creates, not the frantic, not the being contracted and confused and like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen tonight or tomorrow? Like, wow, if you're willing to create for the future, you have so much more space to play, so much more space to create, and you're functioning from timing and not from time anymore. So what can you create beyond yourself and beyond the present that will invite infinite possibilities for you and for anybody else, including Earth, the gorgeous Earth we're living in, on and with.
Yeah, and creating with.
And
Wow.
creating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, and when you look at it that way, it reminds me of the question. I think it's a question out of the book Bright Riches for You, out of the top of my head. But it's that question where we ask, what will it take for you to be willing to live the energy of what you would like your life to be, so that it could show up in totality? And so when we talk about, talking that energy that you would like your life to be, could you speak a little bit more on that, and how that comes into fruition?
Yeah. This is an amazing question. You can even start from scratch asking it, and it creates a lot. Even Gary asked it when at first Access got created. Like before Access got created, he asked this question, like, what would I like my life to be like? What would I like my life to look as and to be as? And he didn't think about it. He didn't get into his head and got to like, oh, I think should be like this and this and this and this. No, he was like, okay, universe, show it to me. He was willing to be aware of everything that shows up and willing to be aware of the energy that this question brought up. So being aware of the question, not going to your head, allows the universe to show you and give to you exactly the thing that you're asking for beyond the thought element.
Right.
So much more can be gifted to you. You can create much more, even easier. So this question you brought up, Ruby, is amazing because like gets you out of, oh, I have to think about it. Oh, I have to put my head into it.
Yeah.
No, it
No.
just ask and you like wonder. Ask and you like wonder. And you perceive it. And for all the questions you ask, and the more you ask it to the future, the more you allow it to grow and expand, the more you get that sense that energy is. And each time something that shows up matches that energy that you like, that came up with that question, you choose it. And then you ask other questions. It's a whole world of questions, which Access is, and that's what it makes it on the creative edge of creation and wonder and generation.
Yeah, and in this part, what you're saying here, what I love about that is, how you're able to do that together with your body, of course, because your body is so aware, and in those things, if you ask your body if this, what you encounter right now, if that matches the energy that you've asked for, it will also be able to tell you yes or no.
Yeah, totally. Actually, and also that your body is aware of the future as well. So when you ask questions like, okay, what this choice will create in 5, 10, 500 years from now, your body has even more ease to tell you. Okay. And the light and heavy element is your awareness. How quick is your awareness and your thought is not? And what if you would be willing to perceive exactly what you're aware of and not hide it because it doesn't match your thought or projection? Like, I'm not going to see it. You can choose
Right.
not to.
Or it could never happen. Yeah.
It never happens. You can still choose to not trust your knowing or perception, or you may not want to ask a question. You're free to do it. Like, what will this create? So, what if with every choice you make, you would wonder, like, would this create more for my future, or it will decay my future? And this is like, oh, light, create more. Okay, let's choose it. Decay, but it's still fun to do it. Like, okay. You're not wrong for choosing something that decays your future. It's just like for 10 seconds could be, maybe then you're bored and then you can choose something else. And this is the being free to do whatever you want. Just be aware of it. And this gives so much ease. And the question I start asking to my body, because with your body you have a creationship. What if you would acknowledge that you have a creationship actually with your body? So I ask, like, hey body, if we were to be living together for another 200 years from now, what would we choose, create, and be different than until now? And see what energy shows up, and enjoy it, and relax into it, and what we take for this, for us to create from this space also, always.
Yeah. Yeah, and you also have this amazing awareness to create this SOP taster.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's going to be very soon. It's going to be this Friday. Could you tell us what is SOP? For those who don't know.
Yes, yes, yes. SOP, Symphony of Possibilities, is such a gift to the world that Dr. Dane here brought and shared with a lot of people now. And I fall in love with it. I fell in love with it, and I'm still in love with it. And gosh, this SOP taster for creating futures came up after like 100 sessions of Symphony of Possibilities. I've done straight from January to like end of February. So I've done like for a month or 100 symphonies. And I'm like, wow, I committed to symphonies, and I was like, okay, what will this create? And this show up, and what, like, something else will show up as well. But this is wow. So what is the Symphony of Possibilities? Is the space for you to finally the space for you to explore your being, explore the possibilities, and destroy and create all the lies and inventions you have put on yourself, and really acknowledge what you are beyond your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, whatever shit you are telling yourself. And it works with energy and with the energy of questions. So this allows more space to be in, to come in, for more possibilities to show up, because every question opens up possibilities. With every question you're making, you open possibilities for you to choose. And then other possibilities show up, and then you choose again. So what I adore about the SOP is that you don't have to think into it. You don't have to find your way in the jungle in order to get to the thing that will solve your life. You just relax, lay down, and be what you be, and allow the possibilities to show up. And you receive a bunch of questions, a bunch of energies, and a bunch of possibilities to play with. And this is the first time I get to do a SOP taster about the future. So I wonder what the energy of SOP with the future can create. And for so many people that you're here, guys, and like, what can this create for our present, for our future, and for the future of the planet, which I'm really interested in. And if you're here, you're really interested in too. So how does it get any better?
Amazing. I'm so wondering what that will be like and what that create, not just talking about futures, but also together with the planet, our bodies.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes. Like even now, I invite you, Ruby, and I invite myself, and also all the people who are watching, to perceive it. Like, what would that create if every day you would be interested in creating the future? And if with every choice you're making, you allow yourself to create for the future. something that Gary said is that he doesn't choose anything that is not creating from now to 500 years. So everything that doesn't create for more than 500 years, he doesn't choose it. Like, what? So yeah,
Yeah.
what if that could be our reality? And what would the future be like, and the earth would be like, if everyone and every and each of one of us will be that energy of creation?
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a completely different way of looking at things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, are there questions?
Yeah, I was just looking at the questions, and I did see a question coming by from Sherry May, who says, creating sounds great, but what about unexpected sucky things that happens in life? Do we create those things too?
Hmm. Um, Sherry, I know her, and she's amazing. Huh. That is an interesting question. Well, are there really unexpected things that show up? And there is light and heavy too. So, truth, are there really unexpected things that show up? Light? Is it light? It expands yourself, or it contracts you? And really, what if everything that shows up, even if it's so uncomfortable and things that you wouldn't like, normally like, or think like, I don't like it, like, what if that is what is required to create more in your life? Okay. So what if you would be creating actually everything in your life, or co-creating everything in your life, and this is the exact element that is required for you to create greater than before? So then you don't have to judge yourself or your life because of what shows up. You're like so grateful, and you're like looking at, okay, what is the contribution in this, and what can I be aware of here that I wouldn't like to acknowledge? Like, what can I be aware of it, and what's right about this I'm not getting? And this, even if you don't reply to it, which is even better, gives you a totally different perspective of things. And if you acknowledge that you have created it, you can then create something else, something greater. So yeah, ask yourself these questions, and you'll be more empowered than ever. If you can create everything in your life, what would you like to create? Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, me too. Um, well, any of you who are watching, if there are any questions, let us know. I'm not reading that many questions. Let me just check. No, so let us know if there are any questions. You can put them in the chat.
Definitely.
So, yeah. No, go ahead.
No, it's just like, even if questions show up later on, you're in the group, so please ask them. Like, this group is for you to ask questions about the future and to create a future. So please do create, like, questions create so much. Even if you think like, I think my question is too small for me to ask it, it's not that small. Okay, just ask it and see what will create.
And we'd love the interaction.
We do.
Yeah.
We do.
And probably many times, you know, if that question is for you, it'll be for so many others as well, because it's not just you.
Nope.
It's in
not
your world for a reason.
like, whose question are you perceiving?
Yes. Is it even yours? Is it even your yuck?
But you can still ask it, and have more clarity about it, and send it back to sender. Yeah. And really, wow. What if asking questions was the new fashion? What would that create? Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Bianca, we were also discussing, because we're doing this SOP taster this Friday.
Mhm.
How about your plans for futures, coming months? If you share a little bit about that.
Wow. Yes, it's more like a perception. It's not anything defined. What I'm looking at is, of course, creating a greater future. Um, and and I'm looking at creating big and inspiring people to know more, to be more, and to be aware of what they are creating, whatever that is, and giving them the tools to create something and a life they would like to have, which Access is amazing at that. And I'm so grateful I have the possibility to um, facilitate calls, classes, foundations now, and to be able to share these tools more into the world. And so the futures will be having, including this group. In this group, we'll have other conversations with different people, facilitators, and also SOP tasters, Juicy, every week, every month to play with. And if we want to dive into more about it, we'll have so many surprises and juicy creations. We are creating some yumminess, a program of 7 days, which will show up very soon. Its name is Gotten Creating. 7 days for you to opening yourself to the future and opening the doors to the future. And this will come up later on this month. So be prepared, stay tuned, and expand into the possibilities. And of course, foundations are coming. Foundations is coming. It's my favorite class of all. And also, I am creating a lot with such an amazing group of young people, which is Young Leaders. We are creating a movement for young people in body, but also young people older on, to inspire and sharing the tools to young people and to creating a future, sustainable living future on the earth. So this will show up more and more in my creations, and I will share that with you all as well. And yeah, how does it get any better? I'm so excited and so happy to playing with you guys here. And who else where? Where as well? Yeah, what are the possibilities that you like to play with?
Right. What else is possible?
What else is
Amazing.
possible? So, looking forward to the 5th of Friday of March, Friday. SOP
Yes.
Creating the Futures. I'm not
Wonderful.
excited.
No, not excited at all. We're not looking forward to it.
No,
It's going to be terrible.
Terrible, terrible. Don't come.
No, don't.
So yeah, for Friday, come relax, have a place where to lay down and enjoy the 25-30 minutes together. The call will still be in the group, so you can re-listen after it too. But please be on live, so we will have more of us creating together this energy of SOP. So yeah, I recommend that. I invite you to play live and let's create together something that explodes into possibilities and that cannot be ignored anymore. Come play.
Yes.
Thank you, Ruby, for playing
Thank you,
together.
Bianca, and thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon.
See you soon on Friday.
Hey.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.